Well, hello everybody. We are back. This is WREXtra time. A few minutes late. My apologies for that. If you guys have all been waiting, but it has finished with a 1-0 win. We have taken all 3 points at home as we played the circus with Charlton. Ultimately, they did not enjoy the show and they went home empty-handed. So things are looking good. It was a gritty performance. It wasn't an easy win by any shake or imagination that you have. So tonight will be a fun show. We have lots to discuss. We have AO, we have Lewis O'Brien, who came on late. We have lots and lots of others that we should be talking about. Kabore maybe needs to be discussed, some positives and some negatives a little bit. So who is going to join us on this show tonight? For those of you who haven't seen this show tonight, if you have just randomly come in here, this is the local pundit. This is WREXtra time. I am Paddy Power, and this show is about what you think. You can come in and join us, tell us what you thought of the match, and basically guide the conversation for the evening. I get plenty of opportunity to talk, so tonight is your show. We do have our first guest, regular caller, Habsfication. I see you in the back there, buddy. I'll bring you in shortly. Now, with the circus team, roll up, ladies and gentlemen. Lots of people in tonight I would like to see. Kim says in the comments there, Kabore had his best game in weeks. Maybe he did. Maybe everybody agrees with you. And maybe the weaknesses that he always has were still visible tonight. I would love to discuss Kabore tonight. Kim, how about you come in and join us and discuss Kabore or anything else you want to talk about? First up, though, guys, I'm going to show the league table because it's looking pretty okay. Let's just get this ready and bring it up for you guys. Share screen. The results were pretty good for us tonight in general in the championship. So Coventry won, keeping them up at the top. Middlesbrough, Stoke, Preston, Hull City, and Millwall in the playoffs. Millwall is on 25 points with Hull City, and then 26 and 27 above them. That is not terribly far off from where we are. We are on 21 points, and we are not alone in that. We have joining us Birmingham City, Leicester City, ourselves, and then West Brom. The only difference is the goal difference separating us at the moment. And then just above us, we have Derby County, Charlton Athletic, Bristol City, and Ipswich Town in their own little group of 23 points, which is less than one win to get up and join them out of that group, whoever loses in that next match. So we are not very far away, ladies and gentlemen, but it is all bunched together. It is all to play for. Okay, so let's put that away. Home form. What do we think of our home form, guys? That puts us on 3 home wins in a row and 6 home matches with no defeat. That's pretty good. We had a worry about our home form at the start of the season, and I think we have kind of turned that around. So a little bit balanced now. Lots of teams to come before the halfway point when we hit January and potentially upgrade our team. But for now, I'm quite happy with this, even if we had to have a scrappy result to do it. The points are what counts, and we have had plenty of matches where we just didn't cut it. So Habsfication, I'm going to bring you in now, and then I'm going to go through a couple of comments. There we go. Habs, you there?
Yo, what's going on?
Good. 3 points, better than no points.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, could be worse. So
I would take a terrible performance and 3 points over a fantastic performance and 1 or no points. So I prefer both if I'm being greedy. But it wasn't a terrible performance. I think our second half saves it, to be honest.
It was generally the second half when things were starting to come together as well. So, I mean, the first half was, I guess they were just trying to figure things out, but there was just a lot of bad passes. There was,
yeah.
So many bad passes. But they fixed that in the second half. All of a sudden, passing him was getting on point, and we were actually going forward. But the thing is that everyone knew. Well, I don't know if you knew, but you may have already known. But they were going to let us have the ball. They were going to play low block, and they were going to basically try and make it as painful as possible to grind out a result. So that was their entire game plan. If you've seen any of their games and you've seen any of their results, you'd see they get like these last minute 1-0 goals. So that's how they do it.
Yeah, it was going to be a scrappy match. Our passing, I brought it up a couple of times on the live show. It was poor. It was very pedestrian, and they gave away the ball numerous times. I didn't like the amount they were playing backwards in the first half, and that seemed to stop pretty much in the second half. That's not our game.
Did you see us? Did you see the last WREXtra time?
The last WREXtra time?
Yeah, the one Aaron took over.
No, I didn't actually.
Yeah, I bought this up on Josh's watch along as well. Backwards and sideways, backwards and sideways, backwards and sideways, backwards and sideways. But the thing is that Charlton let us play our game. The thing is that I think we're just still getting used to this possession style based of game. I mean, we had like 60% possession. And the thing is, Charlton made it too easy for us. Like, you could literally put a bus through, you could put a train through their space. You could. They made it so easy for us to pass through them. They were not very good, and I think it's because they have very young players as well.
Yeah, they do have young players. We have the experienced players, and some of their speed kind of hurt us for a little bit. But then we started getting our passing going. And in fairness, we can't expect Wrexham to be an amazing passing team in a quarter of a season. It's a new style. It's a new style for a lot of players. So they need to see what's happening with each other, where to pass. And the one thing I will say is, although we did have bad passes today, we had some lovely long passes as well.
We did.
And I will give some props to Dobson. He is trying some nice long through balls and long passes to switch wings and stuff like this. So you see the way
he's doing those 360s as well, just going around. That's very different. This is not the Dobson from last season. He gets the ball, sees them, switches around, goes around. He does these 360s and passes it to the next person. He stops them from trying to. He slows down the other people's game from trying to get the ball off of him.
Yeah. Who else other than Dobson just immediately springs to mind?
Oh, there are a few. I mean, people think. A lot of people might be a bit meh on Broadhead, but he was playing actually fine to me. A lot of people might disagree with that, but I think he was actually playing fine. He was getting the ball forward. He was going through the middle, going forward, and he was going on the attack overall. And I can understand that that people were trying to. Some people were like, "So let's get him out. Let's get O'Brien in." But he was doing okay. He was doing perfectly fine. He was working within the confines of having to deal with a team that is not going to allow you to score because they're going to be completely low block and they're going to go on the counter. And you know it was going to come every time they're going to go on the counter.
Yeah. Okay, so just looking through the comments here. We'll dig into these a little bit later. I'll just fly through them. Broadhead a bit meh from John. And Kabore needs to step up his game or get subbed out. Now, I completely disagree with that, and I have a lot to say about Kabore since I watched him live.
Can't sub him out.
Who are we going to sub him out for? Who do we have? Barney isn't strong enough.
They're probably thinking Longman on the right and then Kakache on the left. But the thing is that we don't have. But if Kakache wasn't playing today, what, are we going to put McLean back in there?
Yeah. I suppose you could put Longman back out there. That's the only choice, really. But as much as I may point out some of the flaws in Kabore today, he's the best we have. He is. He is significantly the best wing back we have. So I've lots to say about him and how good he could be or needs to be, but we don't have anyone suitable to sub him out for. Even for anything I criticize him with, I wouldn't replace him with anybody else. We just don't have someone yet.
I think he's had some good crosses today as well, but it's just no one was able to get on the end of them.
I thought they were horrible.
I think there were some really good crosses he had.
Yeah, it's this thing about is he just passing into dead space, or should people have been aiming for those spots? And this is a bigger conversation for me with Kabore. I think part of Kabore's problem in general is that the rest of the players don't understand what he's going to do. They can't anticipate him. He has not been crossing in enough in previous matches, and now today he has started crossing them in. So they're not anticipating these crosses coming in. So that for me is the problem. Barney was too obvious. He would do his little push
Step
with
overs.
the ball, step overs, and then he would get just 1 foot ahead of you and he'd cross it in. And he would drop it into the same area almost every time, exactly the same. And you knew he was going to do it. You could time it almost from as soon as he started moving against the defender. Now, Kabore is too wild with everything he does. He does some really nice stuff, some interesting things, but if the other players can't read it, a lot of time they come to nothing.
That's true. He's very technical, but he's still raw. That's to reference Mr. Gordon Ramsay. It's effing raw, but he's going to need some time to refine it this season because he's never really had that time to actually refine that kind of skill set. Yeah. So he's probably going to get that right, I'd say. I mean, he was going for it. You could tell this match he was being a proper runner. He was and getting those balls into that area on the right side. He was on. I can hardly tell. Yeah, he was on the right, and he was doing what he was brought in to do, as opposed to what he did on Portsmouth, where he was just going backwards and passing back, or just passing it in the middle, and then they pass the ball back. And he didn't run like he did today. But then again, I think the problem with Charlton is that they were just going to let us do that anyway.
Yeah. Dobson has next in game. AO stepping up. Now, guys, I am highlighting these in my background. We're going to go back over a lot of these. There's some interesting questions here, and I think they're covering the whole kind of board of different people we need to have a look at. I'm just going to fly down through the chat as quickly as I can here. Here's a little bit on Kabore. Kabore's pace was neutralized, yet he still found a way to contribute. Solid defensive contributions, no issue with Isa. To say a little bit more, his pace is fine. He was getting double teamed a lot, and we did play more down the right hand side than the left. Again, seeing as we didn't have Kakache. There's nothing else we can do with Isa. He is the best we have. I wouldn't try and sub him out or anything like that. But he did produce today. He did produce for the team. So interesting. Okay. Sarah's got a question here about the penalty shot. Yeah, I will talk about that. Absolutely. Okay, just briefly, what did you think of Maka? Or maybe not briefly, we might cover it now. Lots of questions about Maka today. Saying there was one earlier which said that every time we play Maka, he gets balls into the box and basically is almost getting assists.
The thing is with McLean is that he's very good with that. It's like he's very technical. He's got a good IQ and he knows how to get the balls into the right areas. He's just slow. That's it. He can't. Like you could tell his run up is he doesn't have that instant acceleration that Longman has to get to that side. Like he's very endurance based, but he doesn't have that kind of capacity to be able to go there. But that causing, I mean, that was just like a freak moment. I was thinking, what's going on? And then I noticed it's like, it's a penalty, which was really good for us.
Yeah, sometimes you need a little bit of luck. and that penalty certainly made the difference. Okay. So Maka here. Maka has 3 or 4 assists from very few games. Was near the top of the assists last season too. Yeah. I've been harsh on Maka this season. He isn't probably good enough. I don't think there's many that would kind of suggest that he should be starting. But he is good at what he does. When he gets the ball, he gets them into the box, and he does do what we need, which is get chances in around the box. And guys, we have our second guest trying to come in. Looks like he's having a little bit of an issue, but we'll bring him in shortly. And if anyone else wants to join, I'm going to put the link out back in, and then we're going to start deep diving on some of these topics. So the link is posted again there. I'm going to bring in our guest with us, Anand. Welcome to the show, buddy. Hello.
Hello there. So I'm finally back. I didn't want to join earlier because we were just not clicking, and the last 5 games, which was supposed to be the most challenging, we have got 11 points now, and we are right in the thick of things. So I feel like our Wrexham of last year has finally arrived in these last 5 games.
That is something I will absolutely say, is that people have been kind of talking about we don't look like the same Wrexham that we've had the last couple of seasons. And it's true, we swapped out most of our squad. I think today we looked the most Wrexham-like of the last couple of seasons. It was scrappy, it was gritty, they kept going, they never gave up, and they turned around what was a kind of a mediocre first half performance into a much stronger second half with pressure at home. I really enjoyed seeing the second half from that point of view.
Yeah, the second half was brilliant, and just the last couple of minutes, that save was absolutely brilliant. I think we had a couple of games where we're just having the luck go against us in the last few minutes, and for a change, and this was not luck, this was pure skill, but it was good to see that we're not conceding points at the last couple of minutes. So it was just an overall great game, and finally we are getting our home streak win going, which is really tough at this level of the football league. So that's also good to see.
Yeah, the old school thought is win at home and draw away, and you'll be doing pretty well by the end of the season. So it's nice to be picking up wins on both sides, and finally, yes, our home is looking nice and tasty. As I said, what was it, the last 6 matches undefeated at home, with the last 3 being all wins. So that's pretty good. Nice to see that back. So Anand, what topic would you like to start with? We're going to start with a little bit of a deep dive into some of the stuff we just mentioned from the chats. What would you like to talk about, or who?
Let's see. I think I see a lot of talk about Kabore, but I think he played really well.
Okay.
The first time when he didn't chase the ball, he has just knocked out by an opposing player, so he was probably a little bit off kilter. And the second one, which looked like he missed, it almost looked like the ball was going out, but it just hugged the line and stayed in.
Mm-hmm.
So he did, so I won't fault him for any of that.
Yeah, Habs, do you agree with me? Kabore's work rate is way up there.
Yes, I have a, if Manchester City has an injury, Kabore will be gone in January. So fingers crossed that nothing happens.
No. I'm sorry. Man City, he's never going to play for Man City.
Was it?
I don't agree with that. He has got flaws, but his effort and work rate is not one of them. He tracks back. His defense is fantastic, but some of his attack is a little bit off for me, and it part of it is just this: you can't always be trying to do fancy stuff if the rest of the team don't understand what you're doing. It's just not going to work. Even if you get it right, even if you put the pass into the most dangerous area in the box, if nobody's running onto it because they don't know what you're doing, then it's never going to get finished. And hopefully in the second half of this season, that's exactly what will start happening. is that he will start to get an understanding with the rest of the team, or the team understanding him, which maybe is more important. And I will say that happened with Fletcher. When Fletcher first joined us, he was doing little fancy flicks and touches and no-look passes, stuff like this. And the rest of the team had no clue what he was doing. He was putting the ball into dangerous area after dangerous area, and nobody was there to take the strike or to claim a goal off it. And I hope that's what's happening with Kabore. I hope he can either relax back into doing more straightforward things, because that's what the team need, or I hope everybody else steps up and starts maybe understanding what he's trying to do, and they can work out some of this in training.
I think he did make a few crosses today, so hopefully the trust starts growing.
Yeah, and that's an interesting point. Is today he started making crosses, but there was no one there, because I think people stopped expecting him to be crossing them in, and he only started today.
Yeah.
Habs, what do you think? Last word on Kabore, and then we move this subject.
I mean, he.
Go on, Habs.
Yeah, I think he played really well.
And then 1 second, let Habs talk. Thank you.
Okay. The situation with Kabore is that you can't fault him on his work rate. You can't fault him on his work ethic, and he is doing the defensive work. You can see him is solid defensively. He is. He's getting those tackles in. He's getting those balls out the way, and you can't fault him for his speed, because he will do the runs that will get to the other side. He is doing those, and he's doing those no-look crosses as well into the box, where it's not off, but it's all about timing it right as well with Kabore. Either the team has to catch up to him in terms of like the level of skill, because he's very raw in many ways, or he's going to need to refine himself further to do the more simplistic things and get those right, because he can be all over the place sometimes, or he could be almost meek at times as well, if he's not being used properly, or if he's being shut down.
Okay.
And Man City will not take him. They will not take him.
He's not good. He's not up to that standard. There's too much of a gap.
Man City will not take him back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Just before we move on, there's a couple of quick questions here I want to cover from the chats. Sarah was saying, Paddy, can you explain why we got the penalty shot? I think some others in the chat explained it, but for anybody who didn't see the replay or didn't understand that, basically the defender jumped up into the air, and he did the silly mistake that a lot of players do, is they jump with their hands when reaching upwards as they jump, maybe to try and get a bit of leverage. It's just the way body mechanics can work, is you put your hands up and then jump, and his hand was too high, and the ball actually connected with his hand, not his head, and then he flicked his head, either trying to actually make contact or simply trying to fake that it wasn't his hand that hit it. But either way, the ball did come off his hand, and it was a penalty.
I think you're wrong about that. I think you're wrong.
Okay, go on.
What he was trying to do, he was just trying to give his goalkeeper a break, and he was just trying to play goalkeeper temporarily. So he was just giving his goalkeeper a break. He was like, "Look, don't worry, I'll save it with my hands this time."
Yeah. And it had a bit of a hand of God feel to it. You didn't realize it right away, and then the replay showed it that it was actually.
Well, for once they got it right, because that is something that's easily missed, or kind of, I'm unsure, so I'm not going to call it, because obviously there's no VAR in it. So it was a correct call. It was unfortunate for them because there was nobody around the defender. It was a silly mistake. He really shouldn't have let it happen.
I mean, the ref was generally fair. He was going to let most of the game just play. He was going to, even if there was any kind of, he was going to allow some rough play as well. So,
okay, yeah, let's have a quick word on the ref. Did anyone have issues with the ref? I personally didn't. Anand, what did you think? Ref
There
today?
were a couple of more yellow cards you could have given to the other team, but I think overall it was a good play. And sometimes when even the handball, I think he missed it, but he got communication that there was a handball, and he pointed like
Mm.
what 5 seconds later. So some refs don't do that. So I'm glad that he's changed his mind or took the time to decide on that.
Okay. Yeah, the only one that I think was some people thought was controversial, Josh mentioned it, was the potential red card early in the match. He was going in quick, which kind of reminded us of what happened to us with the red card recently. But his studs were particularly down, and he came across the player. I didn't think there was any malice in it. And ultimately, even a yellow card potentially was a little harsh. I know the player went over and rolled around a bit, which sometimes helps you make more of it than there actually was. But the commentators were saying as well that it wasn't necessarily even a yellow card. So a yellow is okay. It looked bad, but certainly I don't think it was close to a red for me.
I think Kabore was going full steam ahead, so that might have played into why it became a yellow.
Yeah.
I think faster players typically get
more yellows against them.
More yellows.
Yeah, I agree. That's fine. Okay, so then we have another question here. Which is it? Yeah, Brian Burton. Did anyone cover what happened with Libby? We don't know specifically, but what has been doing the rounds is that he had a tight hamstring, which is not great.
I thought it was a tight calf.
Tight calf, is it?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
maybe calf, not hamstring. Sorry. Yeah, so that's not great. To be missing matches because of that, and he's had a few issues already. I would have preferred to have had him today, but we managed without him. So on that point, what did we think of Longman on the left again?
He's good, but he's taking too many shots. I think he got some confidence from one of his shots going in, but now maybe he's taking a few shots extra. I think the moment he gets pushed back, he should switch off the shot and probably look for a pass.
Mm-hmm. Habs, what do you think about his crossing in? Because he's not crossing in with his left foot, and he didn't do too many crosses today, did he?
He did do some crosses in today, but the big problem is that he did do some left foot crosses today as well, or tried to score, I think. But the thing is, he has to cut in. He's not as comfortable. He's not a natural left footer, and that's. Yeah. I think we've kind of gone down this road about him, but he's tried scoring him as many times. He was just getting that volume shots in as well, so it kept them on their toes. They looked a bit freaked out. They did about how much we were pressing them, because they didn't. I don't think they liked the way we were pressing them, but they were more than comfortable to be able to sit back as much as possible and just take the pressure. So,
I think his crosses were not on target either. I don't recollect anything, being too threatening. But he looked like he had a good day, but some of the finishing was not up to par today.
The big problem, with today is that everyone was trying to get the ball to Moore. That was the big problem.
Yeah.
And with what they called with Charlton, they were going to play their game of just using the low block and try and put the numbers around Moore as much as possible to make it as painful as possible to try and even get that kind of score going. He almost scored, Moore did as well, to get us up, but there was that moment where he headed the ball in, and it just skimmed past the post, and he did it again with trying to get the ball in. It just skimmed past him as well. So there were moments where people were just trying to get it to him, but they were just not. They were just not getting to. It just wasn't close enough. It wasn't.
Yeah.
It's not a good look to be seeing Wind as being a best crosser right now. So we want. I think also for Moore, there were trying to give him a lot of forward passes into the box or forward crosses. I think they have to be lateral crosses. So Pekache or Kabore have to go in deep and then cross to Moore. That's when Moore is much more dangerous. But we couldn't get that done today. Yeah, I did feel that based on last success, they were trying to feed Moore when he was probably not open enough, even though he was open, at least one time. Uh, so it was a mixed day, a good day, but not as effective as the previous game.
Okay. John Emma here. Left wing back cover is a high priority in January. Owen Beck on loan would be good if they recall him from Derby. Owen Beck would be interesting. Yeah. What's your take on the left wing back situation? Do we absolutely need to bring someone else in January?
I don't think so. Barnett is still there, and
Barnett's on the right, though.
Barnett cannot. I've seen him play.
We've never played him on the left.
Oh, okay. It's Longman that plays both sides.
Longman plays both sides. Yes. Yeah.
Maybe we might have to switch Kabore around to see how that goes. I don't know if he's comfortable with that or not. So that's an option.
Habs, what's your opinion?
We're going to need someone in, either on loan or maybe a purchase. But if we buy someone in January, it's going to be expensive. Like January prices are going to hike up anyway. So, but we could get someone on loan. There's always someone who could be. We can get ourselves a natural left footer from maybe one of the Prem clubs, or maybe a European club, or maybe a South American club. But we need a left footer. We need someone either on loan, more likely on loan, for just 6 months, and then wait out to the summer and see if we can find anyone new. Yeah.
For our game, I think our wing backs are super important. They really are. And I think what's keeping us in it this season is the fact that the defensive duties of our wing backs is really, really high. They're very good on the defense, a little bit lacking in the attack, but that's kind of a group effort as well. It's not all their responsibility as to why some of the attacking isn't working.
We need a pacey one. We do. We need a really pacey left wing back.
Yeah. What we've seen is when we have a good balance between the left and the right wing working together, it helps free up Kabore. And we saw that in Coventry when we had Kakachi on the left and we had Kabore on the right, and they were both playing well. And we were getting passes from the midfield out to both sides. It really made them think about what was happening. They couldn't overload as easily. And again today, the overloading on Kabore was happening a bit more, because I don't think they were as worried about our left side. Okay, so next topic, guys. What do we want to? Who do we want to discuss, or what?
We were shaky the first few minutes. I think some of the first minute itself was an example. But I think we are still getting a hang of this turf. And maybe the turf is extremely uniform no matter what stadium you play in, but I'm still getting a feeling that some of the players are having trouble at certain areas of the turf and the passes are not the right speed and so on.
Yeah. Have any idea why in particular we seem to start off a little bit slower? Or do you agree with that or not?
I don't agree with that. The hybrid stitch pitches are designed to be able to allow that kind of ball passing to be a lot more smoother. So, especially when we get it made properly. So it's not really anything to do with the pitches that we got. It just seems to be a habit we picked up. I don't know what it is. Or maybe it's just something in game, because I think they want to be able to. We've noticed that we've become once again a second half team. We're still a second half team. We are.
There was an opportunity for us right in the first 3 or 4 minutes, where if the pass was at a higher speed, I think there would have been a much better shot. So So I just got the feeling that they still don't have a good feel for the turf. And I've never played in this kind of situation, so I don't know how different it might be from another artificial surface. Uh, uh, so that's something to watch out for, maybe.
Okay. Kim, sorry, I just have to see a comment here from Kim. I don't know if this is a joke or just a misunderstanding. The main problem with the game was Mark Griffiths constantly calling Charlton Coventry. I think that was funny. One of their players is called Coventry, isn't it?
I think so.
Yes, it is. It is Coventry in the midfield. So when he was mentioning Coventry, it was the player he was talking about, not the team. I thought that was quite funny because I noticed Coventry a few times, and of course I mentioned the lineup in the pre-show. Yeah. Okay. Right. So next up, what have I got started here? Let's pull one up. Okay, show this one. Designed by Marlon Smart. Hi all, Marlon from Brooklyn, New York. Ward will have to fight really hard to get his #1 spot back. Let's have a word about the big man, AO. He kept us in it again today. Some lovely saves, and especially right at the very end, that long stretch to get a touch on the ball and knock it over. Excellent play by him. Agreed? Not agreed?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it always helps to have a taller goalkeeper. I think that plays into the offensive player's mind. So even when I see the ball hitting the pole and ricocheting off, I think it's in the back of their mind that they have to be really at the top corner, and they start making those slight mistakes. That's enough to uh, just dink the bar and get go out. So uh, today's saves were brilliant, and I think he's probably keeping his spot when Watt comes back.
Yeah, I think so. At the moment, I don't think there's any way you can pull him out for Ward. Now, I did see his distribution again because I was at the Portsmouth match, and it's really interesting to watch when it's not on the screen on a camera that keeps moving. But he has some poor distribution. And I'll say it again briefly just because I saw it. He needs to improve that, but everything else is definitely improving. His control around the box, obviously his shot stopping is top quality. But he's a very comfortable championship level goalie. And if he can improve on a few other areas, he could be a top end championship goalie with a bit more experience. And I think he's quickly improving and is starting to become very consistent in saving some goals for us.
I think counter attacks and quick attacks don't seem to be part of our core philosophy. So I've never seen him look for a quick pass.
I've seen it a few times, and it looks like the team just wasn't ready to take one. I have seen him run up to the edge of his box, kind of looking around for a throw, but for whatever reason, it just wasn't on. But just like I go back to Howard. If you remember, Howard had that amazing goal assist where he kicked the ball and landed it in the perfect spot, controlled one touch, and then scored. And that is something he can't do. He can't put it in that perfect spot on a moment's notice. And look, with time he can learn everything. He's still young enough, and more experience in the championship. Hopefully that improves.
He did get his head banged on the save, so hopefully nothing too bad there.
Yeah, I wasn't sure exactly how hard he hit it there. He got up pretty quickly, so I assume it was just a very gentle knock. But talking about AO, he is the highest rated on FOTMob for our team today. He got a 7.9. Then behind him was Kluart and Dobson on 7.8. Next is Kabore 7.5, Hyam 7.4, Moore and Thomason 7.2, Broadhead,
Scar's the
Longman.
most interesting.
Broadhead and Longman 7.1, and last Scar 6.9. I don't think he deserved a 6.9. What did he do? What did he do wrong today?
I don't know. He looked like he was playing perfectly fine to me. I think it might have been to do with when he was trying to. Our set pieces were trash today. To be perfectly honest, I think that's what it was. It was just the set pieces. I think he was in the mix trying to do the set piece, and it just didn't. Nothing was working. I mean, Dobson's not good at doing set pieces.
Yeah,
Thomason is just I mean, we need a proper set piece coach to be able to get these things right or get people improving on these set pieces, because every goal gained is like a marginal. It's like just like getting that like just trying to get like 2 to 3 or maybe even 5% gain from those kind of things from set pieces alone can take you to the top of the league table. Just being dangerous on set pieces.
Yeah. Lots of love for AO, of course, but it's interesting. Do we think that Scar and AO have just spent more time together and understand each other a little bit better?
Probably so. I mean, they were with each other all of last season, so they know each other a bit more. And taking into consideration, I think we saw a complete inform Arthur in our previous match against Portsmouth. He's back in form. He is.
Yeah.
So, and he's not going to let goals go through, and then he's going to make it as hard as possible to let those goals through. And before that, you're going to have to get through our defence, which seemed to be solid. This back line of Max, Scar, well, actually, our back five of Kabore, Max, Scar, Hyam, and Kakache, or let's say Longman. They're just not going to they're not going to let anyone through. They're like a brick wall at this point, especially Scar. He just does not let anyone get through.
Yeah, it's really interesting how he had such a difficult season last year. Where was this Scar last year?
He showed up. He showed up at the end.
Yeah, at the end he came back. But it's really interesting. It kind of took him so long to work it out or what's happening. Maybe it's just different players around him. He had a fantastic end of last season, but having Hyam and Kluert working well, maybe that's what he needs.
That's kind of what it is. I mean, if you have a trustworthy back line, a back three, and then which will eventually become a back five, you can basically become brick walls. You can at that point. But we're not. Yeah. But the thing is that we're not playing that kind of transition and counter attack into transition style football, since we're transitioning into a possession based, higher pressing style football play. So, and you're going to start noticing that we're coming. We're playing these high lines. We are now more of these high lines.
Yeah. Okay, Bruce. FootMob's rating was catching 5 out of 12 aerial duels won, counting probably. But a number of those duels recorded as lost would have been in the opposition box in set pieces. Okay, that's potentially interesting. So, according to the stats, he lost a lot of duels in the opponent's box, which would have counted against him, which maybe pushed his score down. Yeah, stats don't always work and tell you exactly what the eyes can tell you. So that's good catch there by Bruce.
That's the thing I said, basically. The set pieces were probably the thing that got him.
Yeah. Now, that's just a general point. Why are we so bad at set pieces and corners? You know, our style allows for a lot of corners against certain teams, and we just don't use them well enough. We're not scoring enough from them.
I don't think Parky is getting anybody for their set piece skills. That might be one of the basic. I think he just looks for a certain mentality. That seems to be his starting point. So I don't think, so unless one of these players really step up, and catch on. I think we'll probably continue this way for a while.
But surely you can train someone. Come on, these are professional footballers that kick a ball for a living. Surely someone can take a cross.
Yeah, I think Barnett has always been good, but he won't, be in the
He's
starting
not
lineup.
playing. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think he's trying, but we we have Kiefer Moore right in the middle there, so they should be able to make progress over time.
Yeah, absolutely.
We have a desert. We kind of basically do have a designated set piece taker. It's James.
James isn't playing.
Yeah, he is. He was playing. Well, he got subbed on.
Oh, James. Sorry, James. Yeah, I was thinking James McLean. When
Yeah, it's Matty
mixing up
James.
with James's. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Matty
Matty
James.
James. Yeah.
But the thing is that no one can get on the end of it except Moore. But the thing is, if Moore tries to get on the end of it, everyone's just going to be pulling him down. They're going to be pulling on his shirt. So my next suggestion would be do what Arsenal do and get the back line to take them. So
Yeah. Okay. Dun, dun, dun. Okay. Lots of comments in here. We're probably going to finish this one up a little early tonight, guys. I actually have something I need to do. Here's another question. Let's see if you can answer this one. Question of the match. Where the hell did the 9 minutes of extra time come from in the second half? Does anybody have a reasonable answer for that?
Yeah, I have no idea. I think there was one injury, but one injury never makes up for 9 minutes. I'm not sure what they're doing. I think 5 minutes. I think over the years, 5 minutes has become a sort of a standard now. They just have started adding 5 minutes. So I see a scenario where just throughout the English league, they just started adding more and more time towards the end.
Yeah. Because, okay, if you give a minute for each substitution and you have roughly 4 or 5 substitutions, that's 4 to 5 minutes worth max. Then what? We had one injury, a minute or two. You're kind of 5, 6 minutes, 7 minutes if you're really stretching it. 9 minutes is just absolutely ridiculous. But happily, though, I wasn't that upset or nervous. Nervous is probably the better word. In that extra time, they weren't threatening us so much, except for maybe the fact they got a corner near the end.
Yeah, our players were not too tired. Sometimes that makes you, worried about how they will last the 9 minutes. And yeah, we did quite well. But I think this has become. I think the league has figured out that this extra time adds to the excitement. There's a tendency to keep adding more and more time.
Telling the referees to keep adding.
Yeah, or I think it's just probably just involuntary. It's just happening. I've never seen a 2 minute extra time game for a long time now. Everything is 4, 5, 6.
Well, with the rotation of players and substitutions, you can kind of expect it to be 3 minutes for that, so that's okay. And then you add a little bit more, so the average being 4 or 5 minutes is a fairly decent standard. But yeah, higher than that. So one of the injuries was, of course, Kiefer Moore, who went down with his leg hurting. So two things. Are we keeping him on too long? And B, there was another question I started, which was Dr. Joy early. What do we do if Kiefer Moore is out for a month? So what's our plan B, essentially? Does anybody know what our plan B is? And are we keeping Kiefer Moore on too long?
I think Broadhead lost his confidence a little bit after the FA game, but he should be back. And if Kiefer Moore is out, we still have good enough players up front. I have a feeling that Kiefer Moore has been kept the whole game because that's probably what the Welsh team is looking for. I have no idea how these things work, but they are sort of preparing him for his international games here, and it's almost as if he's asking for that time, because there is a case to be made to replace him after 70 minutes every game. But I think they want him out there probably to help him with his international duties.
Okay. Kim is saying Wrexham don't have a plan B. And I suppose plan B for the moment is keep doing plan A. Now, I will say Wrexham do have a habit of just getting on with their plan A until they need to make a plan B. And then they'll just deal with it. And like, consider this, if you had to play Broadhead every match up until the new year, would you be overly upset? I know we'd have to change things around and maybe figure out who is going to work with him and connect with him on the pitch. But do you think we'd figure that out relatively quickly if we knew Broadhead was the only choice? I would. I think so.
As the number 9?
As anything, if if Moore was out and we had to figure out other ways of playing,
we would have to completely change the way we'd have to play. But the thing is that with Moore, if we had Broadhead as the number 9, I think it would be a lot. Because we haven't seen him. I haven't seen him do any kind of like aerial work in the way that Moore would do. And Broadhead sits a lot deeper than Moore would. But the thing with Moore is that he can't carry the ball. He's not capable of carrying the ball.
He can't. Yeah.
He can't carry the ball. He can't get a shot in properly. Like even when he tries to take a shot, it looks clumsy as hell. It does. I know he's great. He's good at finishing. He is getting those tap ins, getting those. If you get it in right, he will get that ball in. But if you try to ask him to shoot, he will. It looks clumsy. But if it was Broadhead, we would have to change the way we play completely. Well, not completely, but we'd have to change the way we would play in terms of the front line, in terms of just getting the ball to him and giving him the shot. And you'd probably see a lot more outside the box shots, you would as well.
Yeah.
Kiefer Moore plays well when he's angry, and I don't know what things they can do to get him angry. So then he, I think I remember the last game. Once he had the fight with the defender, he scored 3 goals. So he has to be in that kind of frame of mind when he's out there.
Consider how strong our team will potentially look if we do bring in somebody else to the team who is going to become our number 1 attacker up front. And then we have Kiefer Moore coming on for 15, 20 minutes. That in a similar vein to like Fletcher, the big man coming on late or what have you. That could be a crazy strong team then. I know we're doing okay now, so that's fine. Somebody has put up a comment, Friendy, saying January window sign Josh Sargent from Norwich. So a lot of people believe he's going to be moving in January. He's not going to stay with the team because they're looking at relegation already, having a horrible year. But what do we think of Sargent / another player? Do we need a striker in January? We mentioned the wingbacks already. What do we think? Do we need a new striker up top?
I think we'll get a wingback just based on what we have discussed earlier. But if we are still making a play for that 6th spot in January, I'm pretty sure these owners would go broke for that playoff spot, because we will have a one-time opportunity to create a record that will probably never be broken.
Of course it'll be broken.
I get to the Premier League all the way from National League.
Oh, you mean to do it this season? Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Gotcha.
I'm looking at the number 6 spot, or the number, anywhere from 3 to 6, because the first 2 seem to have sort of run away.
Yeah.
So we, if that window is open, I'm sure anything will be in play, and we'll see how that goes.
The thing is, we need to start utilizing Hardy and Smith. in terms of being the number 9s. They are capable of doing the kind of play. But the kind of play that you need is the kind of ball handling play, and those two can do ball handling and get those shots into target. But we need to be able to use them to do that. So.
Okay. Kim here has a slightly different take on it. I'd be fine with an attacking mid who scores on breakaways. It's another way of doing it. So we're not happy with Josh? No? That's cool. Okay. Right. Anything else tonight, guys, in the chat as well before we finish? Is there anything we haven't discussed that you want discussed? And guys, last chance here. Anything else that you want to chat about before we finish up a little early tonight?
Charlton.
Okay, Charlton. Yeah. What about?
They were. You could tell they were not very good. They're actually not a very good team, and I knew this when I saw some of the games with Leicester, when they went up against Leicester and some of the other matches, and I thought they're not a very good team. They look like the results that we see show that they are a good team, but they're not. They're just really they will grind out the results to get you, and that's all it is.
Yeah,
they're going to give you so much space to attack, but they're going to try everything they can to try and stop your attack in the box. And it didn't seem to work out their way in this case because they gave us a penalty.
Mm-hmm.
But
it almost did, yeah.
But the thing is that we were pinning them quite a lot in the second half. We were just pinning them into their box. We were. So as soon as we got that pen and scored, it was all panic stations at that point. All hands on deck. You could tell every moment there was just panic pressing at that point. They were trying to do anything they can do, and you can tell the entire pitch was opened up. So we were just getting balls through quite easily. Even McLean, they were just getting the balls through so easily. Yeah. So they opened up so easily for us.
Yeah, I think they kept most of their League Two team when they moved over the Championship. So that would probably have been us if we hadn't replaced our team a lot. But they are cohesive because they played last year, so that probably explains why they're still high. I did see that the coaches were getting into it on the sideline. There was a quick shot where our assistant coach was going with their coach. So I'm sure we'll hear more about that in some of the post shows.
Okay. Nobody knows what actually happened on the sidelines. Obviously, it was mentioned. Was there a little bit of a blow up? So that will be an interesting one to see. Absolutely. And here's the new bombshell of tonight. And Habs, you may not like this one, but here we go. Kim has the final word of tonight. That's silly. It's like saying Middlesbrough aren't a very good team because of the way they defend. Okay. All right, guys. Thanks very much. On that bombshell. On that bombshell. Thanks, guys. We will see you next time. Give a thumbs up. Give comments on the way out. And we will see you soon, where we're hopefully going to get another 3 points and everything. Everybody's going to be happy. Take care. Bye.